So it's been a quiet week in Hidden Hollow. It's been hot, really hot. Couple days was over 100. But life goes on. Nobody really even seems to notice. Mr. and Mrs. King celebrated their 3rd anniversary. It could have been their 4th anniversary, but they like surprises, them two. Mr. King, before he was married, wanted the proposal to be a surprise. And every time he took his girlfriend at that point to a special place with the intention of proposing, she immediately looked around her and thought, this would be a great place for him to propose. And when he realized that she was expecting it, he didn't do it. This went on, like I said, for about a year, till she was calling him chicken and he was rather frustrated. Well, for their 3rd anniversary, she decided to surprise him with a camping trip. She made the reservations and packed the stuff. She'd only been camping once in her entire life, but she did all of the work. She bought anything you'd need for camping, and the stuff she didn't buy, she borrowed and packed it all in the car and said, "Hun, we're going camping this weekend." And he went out and put the bikes on the back of the car and got in. He'll not really say whether it was a complete surprise, but what he did say was that he would like every vacation to be a surprise, because all you have to do is walk out and hop in the car. The people around Hidden Hollow are very self-sufficient. I'm not really sure what creates that in a person, whether it's nurture or nature, something in the environment of a community. But we are. And it starts very young. Many of the children don't want help putting their clothes on, whether they're inside out or shoes on the wrong feet. They will shriek at you, "Me, do it!" if you try to assist them in any way. But I do think that as parents, we tend to encourage this. We allow the 2-year-olds to wash the dishes, even though they flood the entire kitchen. You know the floor needed mopped anyways. And we allow the 1-year-olds to carry the groceries in. We'll stand there and watch as they tug at a bag of potatoes, trying to lift it, even though it weighs more than they do. Then we open the top and show them that they can carry 1 potato at a time. And by the time she's got the whole bag in the house, she's made 20 trips, completely exhausted and ready for a nap, and she's realized that problems are made to be solved. She will feel a sense of accomplishment and like she's truly part of the team. It's probably this same mentality that sends the 3-year-olds up to the top of the hay wagon to push the bales down. We know they're not strong enough to pick them up and carry them into the barn and stack them, but they can push. They're good at pushing. And they're involved. And they're helping. Not just pretending to help, but actually helping. Well, this phenomenon carries on well into the teen and adult years, and consequently, we in Hidden Hollow were do-it-yourselfers before doing it yourself was even a thing. There has been a certain amount of discussion as to whether we are ahead of our time or severely behind the times, because if you think about it, years ago, everyone did things themselves. They shoed their own horses, and You had some skilled laborers in the town a couple hundred years ago, but for the most part, people did things themselves. And now it is very much in vogue again. You can go on YouTube and figure out how to do almost anything yourself. But Hidden Hollow just kind of bridged the gap between the necessity of doing it yourself and the glamour, so to speak, of doing it yourself. We've just always done it. If you look around, you see that there is a hardware store on almost every corner. And the only thing that we have more than hardware stores are auto parts stores. And they outnumber the beauty salons 5 to 1. Because in Hidden Hollow, we just do things ourselves. We mow our own grass and cook our own food. That's pretty obvious. But we also put down our own carpeting and put on our own roofs and do our own electrical work. And in Hidden Hollow, we work on our own trucks. Oh boy, do we work on our own trucks. There's always a truck that's broken down somewhere. It's not unusual to see someone walk up to a truck parked in the middle of a driveway and lean down to shake hands with the person underneath it working on it. I saw this just today. Other parts of the country, you might worry about somebody laying under a truck. But in Hidden Hollow, you just say, "Hey, buddy." They yell hey through the grease and the rust that's falling into their face. It was probably due to a lifetime of having done everything herself that made Mrs. Caswell very frustrated with the fact that she had to go to the hospital and deliver her baby this week. The baby was breech, so there was no option of staying home and having it, although I saw the thought cross her mind. She had to go to the hospital because she had to have a C-section. She was at the hospital just a little over 24 hours, and then she's back at the house, and the next day she was mowing the grass in the front yard. We're very independent in Hidden Hollow. Anyways, the baby, beautiful little girl. She brought it home, showed it to Beauty and Buddy. They were thrilled because they were pretty sure that she was giving them a sibling to raise. And they have all sorts of plans. They investigated every bit of the baby, pronounced her cuter than a baby giraffe, which I'm pretty sure is the highest of praise. And now a little news about the pouty, the precious, and the precocious. 2 brothers, Thor and Theodore Bright, were riding their four-wheeler just the other night, when it suddenly gave a jerk and a cough and stalled. With a heavy sigh off the seat they crawled. They began an investigation as to what the trouble might be. They wiggled the wires, checked the cable, and repeatedly twisted the key. When they finally removed the fuel cap, they saw it was completely dry. At this point, most children their age would have just sat down and cried. But these were Hidden Hollow kids, and they were not perplexed with problems. When things like this arise, they just promptly solve them. So Thor trotted off to get the can, realizing much too late that the can and the gas together equaled him in weight. Arriving exhausted back at the bike, with Theo sprawled across the seat, he requested assistance with pouring the fuel. And this is where trouble he meets. Theodore rose to his full height and proudly took a stand, with his foot upon the gas cap. It was hard to see his plan. Was he worried the fuel wasn't his to use, or unsure it was the right mix? Or was he just being ornery and wanted to put his brother in a fix? The end result was a standoff that would have made a gunfighter proud, although I will tell the faint of heart, it did get pretty loud. And that's the news from Hidden Hollow, where all the women are overworked, all the men are underpaid, and all the children are beyond expectation.